Good evening and welcome to the March 19th, 2026 meeting of the Town of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing on the town's website. For those of you online who wish to view tonight's live meeting only and not participate, please do not join the Zoom meeting. If you're having difficulties accessing the hearing, in either case, visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. With that, I'd like you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you're here with us tonight in person, please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another as it interferes with the recording of our proceedings. In case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Do not attempt to use elevators during emergency evacuation. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevator, and restrooms are located across from the hall from this room. Tonight, board member John Rebhen is absent, and John Leonard will be joining us shortly. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking other than attorneys will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. In order to consider properly every application before us tonight, individuals commenting on a particular application have a time limit of 3 minutes. I want to emphasize that we welcome comments, but must adhere to the time limit in order to accommodate all interest in speaking on any application this evening. Written comments on any application are also welcome. Please address these comments to the members of the board and send via email, mail, and/or dropped off at Town Hall to the board secretary, Candace Cowell, in the building department. At this time, I'd like to take a motion to approve the minutes of our March 5th, 2026 meeting.
So moved.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Bob, would you take us through the agenda?
Yes, first, number 7 on the application titled Wilderness Trail JV LLC, landlocked North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-79-1-33. This application will be adjourned to May 7th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, now to the decision calendar. The decision of David Dunaway will be adjourned to April 2nd.
Second?
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, the decision of Singles and Doubles LLC will be adjourned to April 2nd.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, the decision of Doris F. Lucero Nunez will be adjourned to April 2nd.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald. Ms.
Aye.
Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, the decision of Richard Tausnick will be adjourned to April 2nd.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
And the decision of Nicholas Martin will be adjourned to April 2nd.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, I'd like to reopen the application of 11 Westwood LLC to accept written submissions.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, I'd now like to close the application of 11 Westwood LLC with a decision to be rendered later this evening.
Second.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay.
Okay.
Are you giving over your
You want?
secretarial duties to Mr.
You have your
Leonard? Are you
script?
prepared,
I
or
don't-
you want Mr.
I'll do it, I don't
Mastonia to
mind.
do the first
I
one?
can start, it's fine. Case number,
Let him start the first one.
Yeah, go for it.
you have your script, you know, you're good?
What?
You have your-
What script?
No, he's done.
You would need a script.
Oh,
You
would-
can start
okay.
reading case number 1, but it's up
Do
to
you
you.
want to,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you prepared to read case number
Oh,
one?
absolutely.
Okay, so let him do that.
Okay,
Passing it over to you.
so thank you. Without further ado, number 1 on the agenda, the application of Next Gen Property Management LLC, Huntington Ready Mix Concrete Incorporated applicant, 144 Old Country Road, Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-327-1-6. Do I read all the Suffolk County Tax Map numbers?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-2-5. Scrub Property, Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-302-2-6. Scrub Property, Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-2-1. Scrub Property, Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-2-2. They're all the same, so I'm just going to read the Suffolk County Tax Map numbers. Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-2-3. Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-2-4. 900-302-2-1. 900-302-2-2. And 900-302-2-3. Pursuant to Town Code 330, Section 330, 423C, applicant contests the termination date set for any and all sand mining operations and requests an additional period of time to a date the ZBA finds would provide a reasonable amortization period.
Board has jurisdiction. You want to come up?
Katie, were you going to say some words? You were going to say something?
I think you wanted,
You want to sit here? It's probably easier to talk to us.
my notary stamp? No, I don't have my notary stamp. I thought you wanted to say something, Susan. Do you want to say something?
I do want to say something, so, but let me swear you in first. Are you an attorney? Okay, so just state your name and address, please.
Kevin Brown, Fogel and Brown, Syracuse, New York, 621 West Genesee Street, attorney for the applicant.
Okay, well, welcome, Mr. Brown. Just have a seat, please. I just wanted to say this is our first hearing under the new law, the amortization of sand mines. So I just wanted to clarify for you that, you know, the ZBA has jurisdiction over certain aspects of this, mainly what is the, you know, life of the mine based on valid, legally issued PBC permit, and as well as some consideration for appraisals of various different things of property and equipment and stuff like that. So before you make your presentation, I just want you to keep that in mind, and, you know, if you're going to discuss things that's outside of our jurisdiction, I just ask that you give reasonable, you know, modifications and, you know, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I
So
can
go
be
ahead.
very brief here tonight.
Okay, good.
You have our filing.
We have two filings, actually. We have a revised application as well.
Oh, I think there was some, comments. Regina, what?
All right, are you an attorney, Regina?
No,
I'm the
Should get
property owner's
sworn in.
consultant.
Okay, so then I have to swear you in.
Okay,
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Regina Bykov, B-Y-K-O-V. My address is 11 Mulford Street in Patchogue, New York.
Okay, so we had your original application, plus we just delivered tonight a revised application.
Yes, that was based on information we received from Candace, right?
Yeah, there was just some small requests that she had for changes to the application form, the address particularly, how we listed the parcels. She requested an attachment to the application to show each of those tax map lots and numbers associated with them. Trying to think what else we revised.
Okay, so that was in keeping with Candace's request. Okay, so go ahead, please.
Yeah, my correspondence of December 22nd summarizes our position. One, at this time, there is not a mining permit there because of second department decision. We have asked the court for re-argument, and until we get that resolved, we can't come in here and ask you for anything. What I can tell you is the site's been mined for decades. The most recent permit included below water table mining. In the course of going to below water table mining, they not only put in monitoring wells and provided now a decade of data that shows there's been no impact to groundwater. They're participating in the DEC voluntary monitoring program, and it's the only readings we're getting come from the catch basin on the north side off-site, And then from the industrial yards that are along the Spionk Riverhead Road, they're all from upgradient. There's no source of contamination on site. And this is consistent with DEC's findings over decades of monitoring sand and gravel mining. And their position has been, and still is, based on data, and they're doing the voluntary study to even further document it down here with the 4 below water table mines, that sand and gravel mining in and of itself has no detrimental impact on groundwater quality or quantity. And there's decades of this data and findings by the commissioner. We understand this is sole source aquifer and there's heightened concern. That's why these folks not only put in the wells, did all the work, and then they took part in the voluntary program. That's $100,000 a year or more of sampling for everything. And the results are coming in very clean. So the premise in the underlying law here, that it's a threat to groundwater. I don't know about other sites, but what I can tell you is this site, in decades of mining, the last 10 years, we've got the water quality data. There's no impact to groundwater. It's cleaner leaving than when it comes on. And even when they get readings, they're de minimis. Even the few readings they get out of thousands and thousands, 24,000 samples. We provided the initial report in compliance with the town groundwater monitoring law for sand mines. Spent a lot of money, got that report put together, sent it in. As we had the hearings on this amortization law, someone said, somebody in the town said, oh, they never even submitted a plan under that. No, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, provided the data. If you look in those reports, you'll see 24,000 monitoring events, analytes, and 200 hits. And a lot of time it's manganese and iron that's naturally occurring. There were some elevated manganese and iron readings on the site. They were performing mulching on the site. Everybody had a problem with that on the island, including the town, the municipal locations. They surrendered their permit from DEC for the mulch operation because they didn't want to mess with the mine site.
Mr. Brown, I just wanted to interrupt you just for a second to say that, the jurisdiction of the ZBA is not to determine whether below water table mining, is better or whatever. I mean, we're here just to make an evaluation as to how much is left in terms of your mining capability.
Right.
So,
All right, so
That's
I'll just,
probably
I tell you
another
what I'll do.
jurisdiction.
Well, the ZBA has powers to grant relief to strict application of the code. Now, but anyways, I'll just rely on my submission, all right? And finally, one thing I want to supplement it with, which I will provide in our letter, because the premise of that law is that the mines are contaminating groundwater. This mine is not. I will put in the record, we gave you the link to the DEC voluntary monitoring program website.
do you have the latest DEC permit that's valid? I know that you're contesting, the court's, the court's rejection of the expansion of the mine.
Right.
The DEC was, the DEC application, but what was the previous one? Do you have that?
We don't have a copy with
don't
us.
have a copy.
Okay, because that would be very helpful to
Yeah,
have.
if you can submit that to us, that would be
If we
helpful.
can develop this a little bit more, so what would be really helpful for us to understand is when you presently took possession of the mine, or your clients did, and what your permits were over that same period of time. And that will help us understand the history of the site over the last 40-some-odd years, and if it goes back further, that's fine too. Right, but we're supposed to answer the question for applications that have valid permits, right? And we're supposed to do a mathematical exercise to determine how much sand is left, and based on that, as an allocation of a potential extension of continued mining for the resource value remaining in a valid permit. In the course of answering some of that, it would be really helpful for me, because there's some of the terms are sort of, they're nebulous and they need to be parsed out. So there's reference made to, you need time, extra time, to do the restoration and recovery of the mined portions of the property. And that's different potentially than actual mining for sale, for continued mining for that purpose. People that mine probably know what the terms are. I don't, I'm not a miner. But it would be helpful if somebody could explain that in your follow-up. What do you need to do to complete your restoration plan of the mine? Is that covered by an existing permit when the first permit was granted? And what is it that your present permit has, if it exists, but apparently that's a disputed issue, right?
Well, there was one previous to the disputed
Yes.
one. Yes.
So I'll briefly answer that, and we'll make a supplemental submission.
Thank
But
you.
At this time, because we had a mining permit to go below water table, that's where my story was gonna go. When they received the permit to go below water table, they had a CO, they had a letter from the town attorney, the DEC granted the permit, then the town took a position that, so it went to court, the lower court, the first court said, no, that's a good permit. At that point in time, they were cleared to go on the water table. They went into they spent $10 million to electrify the site because, and it's in my papers, the only risk to groundwater that's been documented in the state from sand and gravel mining has to do with potential spills from the operating equipment. So they electrified the entire operation. They spent a portion. Right now, that equipment's up for sale. It'll probably be gone in a couple months. Right now, the mine's closed. We're closed.
Okay. Julie, this is your application. Do you want to, Julie's application, so let her just start.
Well, do you have more to say on that point, sir?
On which one, ma'am?
The point you just made about what Kevin was asking, the background.
Yeah,
you
we'll
covered it.
provide
Okay, you're
the
good.
set of
And
permits,
the
that when we will
supplemental,
provide
okay.
the set of permits and applications. I'm not sure how much of them we submitted, but we'll submit them all, so you have them. I also just, and again, with the planning board, we tried to show them the sampling. It was 18 boxes over here of stuff. What I did is, for the voluntary program, this is all available online, but so you don't have to go online. And this is just a single copy of the sampling reports that went to DEC through the voluntary monitoring program. I'd just like to leave them with the secretary so they're available for you. You don't have to go online to find them, but we've referred to
Fine.
them.
Okay.
And that's
Julie,
just.
did you want to ask some
John,
questions?
it sounds like you wanted.
Well, I think I want to, you opened your discussion of your application by saying that you need additional time and to actually even put in any of the information that's required for us to make a determination on your application. And that you believe that that time is going to be dependent upon the appellate divisions, how fast the appellate division moves. I see it in a very different way, and I would like to really focus us, I think, first procedurally on how we're going to move forward. A lot of these environmental issues that you're discussing, I see those as, and I don't agree with you that we as the ZBA can go much further afield from Article 23 of the town code. I think that we are locked in and required to apply the statute as it's written, especially the provisions of Section 330-40, 423. And so the environmental issues that you're discussing, the way I read the statute is that the mine receives a notice of termination. They're given a specific date on which they are to terminate all operations. And then if you have additional sand to mine, you can come to the ZBA. Well, there has to be a determination of what percentage of sand is left to mine, and then according to the schedule, we pop it into whether it's a 1 year, a 3 year, a 5 year, or a 7 year termination period, and then you can ask for more, right? Does that sound correct to you?
As far as how that
As
is written.
how the statute works. Okay, great. So, hold on. So, it seems to me that really, we're not able to go beyond what the statute holds. We have to determine what amount of sand is left to mine and how much time you should have beyond the schedule, the written amortization schedule. The environmental issues, like in 330, 423C4, those factors, I think that those are discretionary factors for us to look at in determining whether we give you more or less time. If we believe that that there are no real environmental issues, we may give you a little more time to mine what you have left. If we think that there's a risk to the environment, we may give you less. That being said, my reading of section C5 is that we have to look at the current valid permit in order to determine, first, what the amortization schedule says you're allowed to have and whether or not you can have more time. The current valid permit, as I see it, is whatever permit existed prior to the permit that's currently on appeal. So the current permit currently on appeal is the March 2019 permit. That was, upheld by Judge Santorelli in the Riverhead Supreme Court. It was vacated by or invalidated by the appellate division. You're now on leave for re-argument. I do litigation, I do appellate litigation. I understand that leave for re-argument is an uphill battle, and even if you get re-argument, it is, very slim chances of changing the appellate department's position. I also understand that these things move at a glacial pace. So I don't think that we're in a position here, as we sit here today, to hold this open indefinitely, to wait for the appellate department to either validate or invalidate that permit.
Can I also make a point
Sure.
that in the statute, it says that any appeal does not toll, the time that you're granted. So, it runs from when the enactment date of the statute was. So if you were to appeal and it took 3 years and you were granted 4 years under the amortization, you'd only have a year left. So I think that that's another consideration.
Right, and that's an appeal from any decision that we enter. But, so the way I'm looking at it is this: I think that you're going to need to provide us with information on 2 tracks. This is what I would prefer. So we know that the entire acreage is 33.9 acres, correct?
32.
32.9 acres. What was being mined was, correct me, 4 or 5? 13.5. So I think that we would need to see, of course, even the notice of termination, what the prior permit is prior to March 2019, what permit permits, through the DEC, permits your client or you to mine the 13.5 acres. And I think that you should be making the application to us with regard to the 13.5, because that's the current valid permit. And then it's up to you whether you'd like to make those calculations also and present evidence to us for the entire 32.9 in the event that something miraculous happens and the appellate division actually says, hey, you know what, that's a valid permit.
As long as there's no presumption that we're, recognizing the 32.9 acres, which is
Absolutely.
Kevin's, concern. We'd have to
Absolutely.
clearly stipulate that, this is up to you if you would like to provide that, but it's got nothing to do with us recognizing the 32.9.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree the way John has framed it, and the question I had for you, because you asserted that you can't quantify the reserves, because,
Because we didn't, for the very reason we're talking about here.
Because you're arguing that it's really
but-
32 as
Yeah,
opposed to
right.
13.
It's for this
okay,
very
but there are
reason.
ways to do that, right? You could say, assuming blah, 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 the 13 point whatever is.
Yes, ma'am, I can just take
Because
the
that
most
would enable
recent
us to keep
modification and-
moving, right?
Correct.
Without conceding any argument you need to make.
Correct. And in my opinion, if we get to a point, look, I think it sounds to me like we're going to hold this open.
Yes.
And so, the way the process is going to move, we're entitled to hire experts of our own to review. I would assume you're going to have some experts telling us what percentage of sand is left to mine and what time is going to be needed. We're going to be needing to hire our experts. We're not going to hire our experts until we have your expert reports. So this is going to be going out for a number of months.
Plus, there's other information that's required for us,
Yeah.
some of the appraisals and other things. that are
Values.
Yeah, the values, the equipment, depreciation, those kinds of things that are listed in the statute.
Right, and then, but with the understanding that, at least from my perspective, if at the point in time we close the hearing, we have 60 days to render a decision. If the only current valid permit is the one prior to March 2019, and the appellate court has not decided anything with regard to the March 2019 permit, I would be advocating that we make a decision with regard to the 13.5 acres, and only that.
And if the court rules differently, then that's a whole
Correct.
other,
Yeah.
Whole other can of worms.
right. So with that, I think
Okay.
there's other things you like to see. The one thing I'd ask is, and these are just single copies, and I know you're not gonna look at them, but it may come into play later.
Well, then you'd probably have to provide us with additional copies. You have to talk to Candace about that.
If we
He's
ever
got some
send
new
you those
information he wants to
packages-
submit to you, but, no.
It was literally 18 boxes.
All right, okay.
Can we also talk about how we would set up a schedule for,
Well, let's ask, Mr. Brown, how long do you need to come back with what we were just discussing for us to begin consideration of the 13.95 or the 32.9?
A month?
2 months, maybe 2 months?
2 months, yeah, because we're gonna have to run back through the historical records. I have accomplished that for your.
Okay,
next
so,
one.
okay, go ahead.
so, that's great, and what we're trying to do, and we'd appreciate if you think you have other things that you need to present, if there's engineering reports or other things, obviously, show us the assumptions that were underlying, because depending on the nature of what is presented, we may want to have an outside consultant review it, critique it, and if we don't know the assumptions, we don't know how a calculation or anything was made, so that's one. And if you anticipate that you want certain additional expertise brought in that would require more time, we would appreciate knowing that too. The whole idea is, we want to have a schedule, we want to be able to, properly, but yet not drag this out interminably. And we, to the extent that we have a schedule and we can stick to it, then you can get your review, we get to give you a decision, and it's clean.
Yeah, and it's in your best interest, obviously, to move on this as quickly as you can.
Absolutely.
And I would also say, to the extent that you provide any documentation or report stating that what the percentage of sand is left to be mined and how long you need, I would appreciate, for our purposes and the purposes for our own experts, for you to provide all documentation on which any of those opinions are based.
I understand.
So we
I'm making a lot of promises for them, but
It's gonna be made.
And you're not taking any notes.
He's a good delegator, he's a good delegator.
Man of
I
my
can
own
promise
heart.
anything, right, okay,
Oh, and everything that you have said and asked for.
okay.
So
Julie,
it looks to me like maybe May 7 would be right for
Enough?
the next
but
date.
that's like a month, a little over a, yeah, it's 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Do you want,
That's what he said.
yeah, would you prefer the 21st of May?
21st of May,
I'm
better?
not gonna be getting all this
Okay.
together, so.
Yes.
So what do we settle on?
May 21.
21st.
Okay,
So
so
we're gonna hold
we're
this
hold
over.
the hearing open.
Is anybody else here? I mean,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, so we're jumping the gun here. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on NextGen's property at 144 Old Country Road? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
No one.
Okay, Julie, go
So
back.
we are going to hold the hearing open, and we are going to recalendar it for you to come back on May 21.
Second.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Okay,
Ms. Burgess?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Appreciate you coming.
Yeah, coming from-
Syracuse?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, oh, well,
Hopefully you're sleeping over tonight.
See, Sienna, Sienna almost knocked off Duke. That's where
Don't
Jerry
you next one,
McNamara is coaching right now.
my goodness.
Within
St. John's got some, Duke to lose.
Oh, my gosh.
all the old
Thank
Big
you,
East
sir.
tournaments, those were the best things.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you.
Okay.
You can just,
Thank you,
you can
Mr.
just stay
Brown.
there.
Thank you.
Number 2 on the agenda,
Home safe.
application of West Hampton Properties Associates Incorporated, 80 Sunrise Highway, Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-3-1, and West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-276-3-2. Pursuant to Town Code Section 330-423C, applicant contests the termination date set for any and all sand mining operations and requests for additional period of time to a date the ZBA finds would provide a reasonable amortization schedule.
Board has jurisdiction, just take one of those and pass it down.
I need to swear you in separately for this.
Okay.
All right, you don't have to stand. Do you
Okay.
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Regina Bykov, 11 Mulford Street, Patchogue, New York.
Okay, and Mr. Brown, just introduce yourself again.
Kevin Brown, Oberlin Brown, 621 West Genesee Street, Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
Can we just say ditto?
Yeah, I mean, I think you heard from us the last, this one had even less information on it, other than on page 5, where it said you have 34% remaining.
Yep.
So you know what needs to be done, right?
Yes. And,
Okay.
yeah, I did manage to get, we'll get the whole, this is the permit based on, but it's back. Let me get full copies for everyone.
Right, right.
I think it
So
was out of
it's pretty much the same thing that we were talking about. We need the valid legally issued permit, and we need anything else that you want to provide that's required under our statute. You know, the amortizations, I mean, the assessments and everything else, so.
When was the last DEC permit on this?
The DC, the permit that's operating was in
Does it say? It's
2012, and then it was renewed in 2017. And then a renewal application was sent in 2022. And that is, they're still operating under that renewal application under the State Administrative Procedure Act. And again, I'm not sure why DEC is held up on that. I believe it's because the facility had a concrete crushing, recycle facility, so, and pretty effective. You take sand to a concrete plant, you load the truck with the,
Yeah,
bring back concrete, bring back crush it, you got a market for it, there's only truck going back and forth anyways.
Yeah.
But DEC, in the course of redoing the 360 regulations, prohibited having C&D operations within a mine. So that's why I believe they haven't issued it yet.
So same deal as last conversation, right? A schedule, can you give us, a chronology of, what permits, don't take this personally or as a disparaging comment to you, but the permits that were issued unchallenged and still stand, if you could just, give us that schedule. Well, that's, if you knew the other story, you would know why I'm saying that. An entirely
I
different
do.
project.
I thought we might spend 3 or 4 hours here tonight. No.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Worried
understand.
about that too.
I understand.
Let me ask you something. This is not a case of you're going to court and you're trying to get a rehearing on a decision or anything.
No,
So this is just,
this one's easy.
this one is
so,
Okay.
well, I say
Be
that.
careful what you
relatively
say.
more easy, yes. It's all relative.
Easy.
And in your second submission, besides the schedule, if you could also assert what you think you have left and what the timeline is based on the statute that you're requesting and your reasoning behind that and the
Documents.
details that support it.
Supporting it?
Yes, we tend to, I think you'll see we're spot on.
Yeah, no, look, as I said in the beginning, this is the first of these hearings, so, it's all kind of a learning experience for us, but I think you understand where we're coming from.
So same timeline, do you think?
I would say.
Put it on the same track.
Yeah, okay.
That way-
So you want to, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on West Hampton Properties Associate 80 Sunrise Highway? Anybody on Zoom? Okay,
No one.
Julie, do you want
We are
to?
going to hold the hearing open. We're going to recalendar it for further hearing on May 21st.
Second.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia? Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Aye. Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again.
Have a good night.
Thank you, have a good night.
Okay, number 3 on the agenda, the application of John J. McKenna Jr., 40 Chestnut Street, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-5-5-41. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed second-story addition and in addition to a detached garage on a non-conforming lot. 1, for the house addition, Section 330-84D height, pyramid law for a sky plane encroachment to the north of 1,311 cubic feet and to the south of 780 cubic feet for a total encroachment of 2,091 cubic feet. And 2, for the detached garage addition, Section 330-84D, a sky plane encroachment to the east of 320 cubic feet and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction?
I need to swear you in.
Yep,
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Matt Ivan, South Fork Environmental Consulting, 38 High Street, Sag Harbor, New York.
Okay, so Matt, tell us about this application.
Okay, let me run through it here. So the owner, John McKenna Jr., started from childhood, he had been renting in Pine Neck with his family since 1952. Recently purchased this property that's before you guys last summer for him, his wife, and 3 kids. The property is located within an R10 and is pre-existing, non-conforming with respect to minimum lot size and also minimum lot width, due to it being only 45 feet across. The current house, with a footprint of 1,008 square feet, contains a living room, kitchen, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and an attic over top. He is hoping to expand the attic to allow for a 3rd bedroom, a den, and 2 bathrooms. This second-story expansion will contain 813 square feet. He is also hoping to add an additional 178 square feet to the existing garage in the southeasterly corner of the property to provide a rec room, storage, and a storage area for the kids. That will also include a bathroom and a laundry room for the house. There's no basement to this house. There's not much room, so they're hoping to get a laundry room in there. The existing dwelling was constructed prior to 1957, and the garage was constructed around 1973, which had obtained a variance for its placement in 1962. Due to the substandard size and width of the property, almost any opportunity for further expansion of the dwelling and garage will require some form of relief. The second floor addition to the dwelling is designed so that the majority of the expansion step off the perimeter of the existing dwelling's footprint, with the majority of perimeter relief stemming from the proposed dormers on either side. The current ceiling height within the attic space is between 4.5 to 5 feet, while the proposed ceiling height at the ridge line of the addition is proposed at 8 feet, sloping down to ceiling heights of about 5.5 feet at the outer edge of the dormers. The addition to the garage has been designed with a flat roof to further minimize the extent of pyramid nonconformity. With respect to the tests with character of the neighborhood, we do not anticipate any change in the character of the neighborhood, in that the neighborhood is a mix of differently sized dwellings and developments, all within variously sized lots, exhibiting many examples of pre-existing non-conforming conditions, as well as examples of past variances granted by the board, including 13 pyramid relief approvals, which was shown on the map that was included. With respect to alternatives to avoid a variance, again, the substandard size and width of the lot does not allow for much redevelopment opportunity without the need for relief. With respect to if the variance request is substantial, we do not believe so. Of the 13 prior pyramid variances given since 1998 within the neighborhood, the most substantial pyramid variance issued was for 5,408 cubic feet in 2021. With respect to impact to the physical or environmental conditions, we do not anticipate any physical or environmental impacts due to the proposed improvements being either on top of the existing structure, the second-story addition in this case, or minor in size, meaning the addition to the garage. Consequently, disturbance to the surrounding property will be minimal. We're also proposing to put in an IA system to replace the existing septic that's on the property. And I also have 3 letters of support from neighbors. I'm here to answer hopefully any and all questions.
This is mine, so I'm going to start off. I went to look at the property. It's I would say that the neighborhood at that end of the street is all one-story homes. They're all small, they're all one-story. This is a very tight piece of property. The pyramid relief that you're requesting would tower over the other homes, particularly in light of the fact that it seems to be on somewhat of an elevated or it's kind of on a hill.
On the house?
Yeah, it seemed to me.
Kind of flat?
Well, I'm not saying the property isn't
Yeah.
flat, but I think it sort of has a hill effect on the street. Anyhow, that's what was my opinion. I understand that it's a narrow lot. It seems like a lot of pyramid relief for this piece of property. It's a small piece. I don't have an issue with the garage. I looked at the backyard. I think what you're planning to do back there, it's already there. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not asking for, I mean, it's a minor, in my opinion. But it seems, there are hedges
Yep.
that, but,
On the south side, sure.
on that one side, yes, there are, but it's gonna be very tall. And it looks onto a pool next door. So what did you say the ceiling heights were? And I think that you mentioned something, I think
I
in
could not
somewhere I
discern
read.
that, yeah.
On
Ceiling.
the ceiling heights in the second story, 8 feet.
And it goes down to 5.5 with
Yeah,
the
with the dormers
dormers.
on either side.
Okay, 8 feet. And I looked at the little blurb that you had, and of course you did point out the 5,000 plus cubic feet. The rest of them all seem to be 250, 800, seem more modest than what you're requesting. So that
Yeah.
was just my comments.
The only other one that, only one of these that I recognize since my time on the board is Pine Neck Realty, which we reduced from thousands of cubic feet to 31682. We have jealously guarded this community with
This
regard to
community,
pyramid
As I said,
height.
it is a very modest, one story.
I agree wholeheartedly with the comments of the chair. I think that the pyramid relief is necessitated by the desire to have not only a bedroom upstairs, which would be fine. I think if you had just one bedroom upstairs, it would fit, but a family bunk room in addition to the living room downstairs with cathedral ceilings. So I am not inclined to approve an application of this amount of pyramid relief in this neighborhood.
I share every concern.
Have you considered, I know there's no setbacks being asked for here.
Yeah,
I mean, is
dimensional,
there-
we're good, but the house already exhibits pre-existing setbacks from the street,
Yeah,
so our
yeah.
only, area is to go up, that's it. We can look at it a little further, but, it's gonna be tight either way, that's the
I mean,
thing.
I can't speak for the
square
whole
foot
board,
lot.
but
Yeah.
people there is a tendency to be a little more comfortable with variances related to setbacks than there is pyramid.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
And
not a
look,
guarantee of anything, but I think it's.
No, I
something
do
to
say
think
that
about.
you're really almost, first of all, your neighbor on the one side is practically right on the property line. And, and that's tough. And you're close to the property line on the sides, but maybe there's some flexibility in terms of rear and front.
Oh, what do you mean, like in terms of expanding that, rear and front? Oof.
Or you may have
Well,
to recalibrate your
let me-
expectations, as John said, on the second floor.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
problem with any kind of expansion towards the street, that's gonna all be needed for the IA system, the sanitary system, so we're stuck there.
how is, the thing that I'm not understanding from these plans is how the configuration of the second floor, where does the pyramid relief cut through with regard to the rooms?
Which one, do you wanna look, right here, the second floor plan here?
How is it, which, is it cutting through that way?
It's cutting through here, yes, and cutting through there as well.
Hey, well, I
Sorry,
mean,
where was it?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So the
That's the-
pyramid's
Right
extending
in the
through that
left hand.
section, and then coming up through that section as well.
okay.
And this cathedral aspect is?
I think, it's 8, I asked the architect today, I said, you put cathedral, what exactly is the height? He said 8 feet, so.
Oh, so it's not more than
It's not
8
like,
feet.
a towering,
Uh-huh. Well, I think unfortunately, the choice for you is, well, let me ask you this. On the GIS, I'm seeing, what is moving into the front yard on Chestnut Street? Is there, what is in front? Is
It's a
that just
small
is that just a driveway?
5,000.
yeah. But again, that's, unfortunately, if we upgrade the sanitary, that's where it has to go.
Yeah.
Wait, why not in the back?
The health department needs access. They require you to have a certain amount of access if you put it in the rear, for any kind of repairs or something like that. But it's typically, it's not a full-on requirement, but their policy is to put it in between the house and the street.
I mean, I think you have,
Unless a serious hardship.
the client's gonna have some tough choices to make.
It's a small piece of property, and, not everything can be accommodated with small pieces of property, so,
Yeah, I'll talk to the architect.
see what you can do.
I mean, they'd like to come back with something, but to retain, to still maintain the proposal for at least a bedroom upstairs.
Maybe one bedroom.
I have a feeling that you'd be
It's
able
the
to,
minimum relief necessary, and the question is what's necessary.
and one bedroom upstairs would probably fit the bill and significantly reduce the amount of relief that you need. Because you're looking at the highest in the 300s in the neighborhood.
So,
As an
well,
average.
yeah, it's,
Well, no, no, not as an average, because you've got a 5,000 cubic foot outlier, which I don't feel bound by. That was a different board. I have no, I don't,
But,
given the rest of the neighborhood.
they're really, I circled them all, they're all pretty minor, they're certainly less than what you're asking for.
I mean,
So-
you have a 470.
No, there's 1,000 one in there too, but.
Is there?
But
Yeah.
whatever, I mean,
Okay.
I think
Well-
you're hearing from the
Yeah,
board
no, I
as
appreciate
to, yeah. I mean, we'd like to be as accommodating as we can, but,
Yeah.
but this is a lot of pyramid relief for a very small piece of property, and it would just definitely be out of character with the other surrounding homes. I mean, there are some, when you first pull into Chestnut,
Yeah.
that have 2 stories, but the rest are all 1 story.
All right, well, I'm gonna
Right,
have to, I'll
but we're
talk
not
to the.
saying that like a second story is
No, we're not
Yeah,
saying no,
I
but
get
we're
that, I
saying,
get that,
in
yeah.
front of us.
let's
But-
make
Yeah.
it reasonable, if we can.
Considerably,
All right, is there
Yeah.
anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 40 Chestnut Street? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
No one.
Okay, this is mine, so how much time do you think you need?
Let's say,
Should we
maybe
do
this,
May?
can I get the second meeting in May?
21st?
Yeah, let me try that.
Okay.
Just, hopefully we can come
Okay,
up with an idea.
so we're gonna hold this open and reschedule it for, May 21st. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane? Mr. Mastriani? Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Aye. Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you, Board.
Okay.
Okay, number 4 on the agenda, the application of Jeffrey and Jacqueline Guido, 6 Lawrence Avenue, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-190-2-13. Applicant requests a determination that the subject parcel, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-190-2-13, is held in single and separate ownership from all adjacent parcels and thus entitled to relief pursuant to Section 330-115D. In addition, no, I'm not done. Stop it. In addition, applicant requests relief from Town Code Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Section 330-11 Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal rear yard setback from 50 feet to 26.33 feet for a proposed addition to an existing dwelling on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Are you an attorney? Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Gennaro Cozzolino, 2125 Deer Park Avenue, Deer Park, New York, 11729.
Okay, Gennaro, tell us about
Good
this
evening, members
application.
of the board. We're requesting relief from the board to build a 21 by 26 one-story rear addition with an attached deck. The proposed addition requires a variance for rear yard setback as per chapter 330-115, continuance requesting 26.4 feet instead of permitted 50 feet, a difference of 23.6 feet, all in conjunction with a single and separate determination from the board, which would reduce the request from 50 feet to 30 feet, and a difference of 3.6 feet. An abstracted title dated back to May 22nd, 1974 has been submitted to the board. I also have aerials that I was able to pull up from Google Maps dating back to 1985.
Candace,
Give that to
please.
Candace.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
just for now. Just hand it to Catherine, hand it to Helen. Take a look at it and pass it down. Right now, he only has that one copy.
Okay,
And I'll take
okay,
it
we'll,
once you all
we'll
got it.
share, yeah, we'll share it. These are aerial views. Okay, so, are you finished with your,
The proposed addition will have no significant impact to the environment, will not affect any of the adjacent properties, and will fit in with the character and nature of the neighborhood.
okay, so it seems to me, Bob, this is yours, but it seems to me that if we find that you have a single and separate determination, that the requested variance is significantly reduced. So, do you want to take this is yours?
There's a deck on there now, right? That's coming out?
The deck, no, it's proposed.
There's one there now.
There's a deck there now, it's being removed,
That's what I'm saying.
building the
One's there.
addition, and then the deck is also going up next to it.
Okay. So the deck there is gonna have to come out, and with the deck now is where the proposed addition's gonna
Correct.
be, plus an additional deck.
But I think that the first question is single and separate. And I reviewed,
Sorry.
this looks like stars. This is like a sky view, like I'm looking at stars here.
That's from 1985, believe it or not, but it shows the lot numbers.
Okay. So I looked at, I went through the information that you had provided, and, Katie, I'm sure that you looked at it as well. I see that there is like single and separate as far as I can determine.
Oh, I'm glad you looked at it, because I did too.
Yes, no, I did.
And
I
it
looked
was-
at the whole thing.
And it was kind of backwards. It was
weird.
very frustrating.
It was very weird, but I couldn't find
It's
any.
not your fault.
it's
I
not-
couldn't either.
I could not
either.
find any, conjoined properties, nothing like that.
That's what I found too. And I called the title company and I said, I don't see where you see this. I've asked them on your behalf to just send me a letter confirming that, but I didn't see the common ownership.
I did not see it either. I went through it pretty carefully. There's a lot of names and everything else, and it was a little weird, but, so as far as I'm concerned, I think that's something for us to consider. Did anybody else have a chance to take a look at that?
And no fault if you didn't, because it was a reverse one. It was a lot.
It was a bit weird. So assuming that we're gonna get, and this isn't a question of this is two owners and you had to have separate tax bills and stuff like that. This was clearly just, it was always owned by different people than any of the surrounding properties. So as far as I'm concerned, single and separate is not an issue. And if we get a confirming letter from the title company that Katie has suggested is gonna come, that would be very good.
Yep.
So I think at that point, then we look at this variance with the 30-foot setback as opposed to 50. And Bob, do you want to, any other questions about it?
Do you intend to upgrade the septic system to, do you intend to upgrade the septic system to new technology?
To the new technology.
Yeah, it treats the effluent rather than in a septic, rather than in a cement ring only.
The existing septic system is sufficient, because it's staying a three-bedroom. Okay. So
Okay.
a new
It's not
sep-
required, but it's recommended to
I
consider.
understand, but it would be an additional expense for the homeowners to put in a new system when it's really not required.
Okay.
It's $40,000 for a new system, where we cut into the budget.
No, I understand. We like to
There's still
suggest it
grant
because,
money out there, just so everybody knows.
yes, there is grant money that you can apply for.
And just Kevin, to your point, when the septic system is being upgraded, it is new, it's mandatory now, just so you know.
I mean, I don't know if it's a block system or what, but, I mean, if you're doing, if you're doing a major addition in a house, and you're doing other work.
Blocks, I believe it's precast. Precast.
Okay. Does anybody have a problem with the setback at 30? Okay,
No.
okay.
Is the setback on here? I just didn't see it.
You mean on the survey?
Yeah,
Hold on. Let's take Gennaro, maybe you can.
and they
point
wrote it
that
up,
to
so I'm
us.
assuming they got it from somewhere, but it wasn't obvious to
Plot
me.
plan? Says 26 feet 4 inches.
I think I did see it, actually.
I just don't know where. I believe you.
It was weird. It's on the side here, Katie.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not, but we usually have a line.
That's fine. I
This
just
is
wanted
like-
to make sure it was
a little
there.
weird, but
Like
yeah.
I said, the building department identified it, so they knew it was there.
And the shed was from 1983, and that's, that's, I guess, gonna stay. It's got a CO, and it's gonna stay.
It'll stay until
Okay.
it's time to be replaced, I guess. And then
Okay, and when it is replaced, it should
go into conforming.
go into a conforming area, yeah. Okay, is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 6 Lawrence Avenue in Hampton Bays? Anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard?
No one.
Okay, so we, yes, I think we should close it. We're gonna get a written submission from the title company, correct? And I don't see any reason to hold it open.
Ridiculous.
So we're
Okay, so Bob, this is
going to close the
yours.
public hearing, hold it open for written submissions until April 6th, with a decision on April 16th.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane. Aye. Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Have a good evening.
Okay, thank you, you too.
Okay, number 5 on the agenda, the application of Sarah B. LLC, 65 Inlet Road West, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-176-1-12. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed second-story addition and second-story deck to a one-family dwelling. 1, Section 330-6 General Regulations that references Section 330-11 Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for a principal front yard setback from 40 feet to 31.5 feet for the second-story addition. And 2, Section 330-84D Height Pyramid Law for a sky plane encroachment to the west of 2,279.25 cubic feet and to the east of 4,957.57 cubic feet for a total of 7,236.82 cubic feet and any other relief necessary.
The board has jurisdiction.
Please have a seat. Are you an attorney?
I am not.
Okay, you swear you- Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Carol Sullivan, 30B White House Road, Hampton Bays.
So tell us about your application.
I'm going to first apologize to the board for my lack of eloquence and professionality in this. I'm a newbie.
Trust me, you're doing great already. Don't worry about it.
I'd like to say I expect that you, as with the other applications, you've read all of the information, you have all the figures. What I'd like to do is show you some of the visual, so you can get a true understanding of what we're asking for. This is the house, the little one, next to, all right, so that's, the small one is 65, the one next to it is 63. That obviously touches the property. This touches the property.
On what side?
This is the end of the house, this is on Boathouse.
Okay, right.
I'm gonna make a mess as I typically do. This is on Inlet and Boathouse on the other side, and you can see they've gotten a lot of relief. Because the properties here are small, everything essentially has a variance. This is what we'd like to wind up with. This is something that we did in Hampton Bays. This house won't have those side panels, but this essentially is what it would look like as a finished product. And I think most of the relief is coming from the roof line. So it has to do with the aesthetics of it. It certainly fits in with the character of the neighborhood. It's very beachy, as are the other houses. This is,
That last picture, is that like from facing the road? I mean, from what we see
This
on
one?
the, yeah.
this is what would face the road.
Okay, and how far back would it go? Because it looks to me like the proposal that you have goes way back.
It's the same footprint. The footprint of the house existing doesn't change at all. This is the lot. And you can see where the little one, let me see where. We are 65, so this one. All the rest of them have already received variances for height as well as other. This is Savage at the end. This is in the backup. And you can see they've gotten, the numbers aren't as great because we're squished in.
Their numbers are not as great, is that what you're
No,
saying?
that's what I'm saying, backwards, of course, but yes. They did a beautiful job on that house.
Do you have the pyramid reliefs on these houses?
I think I do, actually, and I certainly can write them up and give them to you.
That would be helpful.
May I ask you, did you once, because you mentioned you were a newbie, did you not come within the past year or so to ask for a swimming pool right around the corner from Lighthouse Road? Did you do that?
No, that's Savages? No, I don't think so.
The name Sullivan?
Yes, it is. I have been before the board, but never speaking. So I've been a come-along. This is my first time on my own. It's like with training wheels off, you know?
You're doing fine.
I wanted to show you.
Can I ask
this, too.
something? Is there any pre-existing pyramid encroachment?
Yes, that was what I was going to get to right now. Currently, the third of the house that has a second floor looks like that.
Do you have a calculation as to how much pyramid encroachment there is with that? Because I don't see, one problem that I'm having is that there's no calculations.
Total encroachment, 466 cubic feet on this.
Presently,
Exists,
Yes.
yes.
And that runs about a third of the second floor.
okay.
So we're asking.
Wait, what did you say it was?
It's about a third of the second floor.
Right, no, but how much? 460?
466, I think it was.
So if you're asking for 7,236.82 cubic feet, I would reduce that by 460, and that would be the amount that you're asking for that's new?
Essentially.
So
yeah.
6 and change.
Yeah. I know it's a lot, but it doesn't look like a lot. Part of that is also, so this is the house existing from that side view. So it's about a third.
What kind of space is above the second floor to the ridge of the house? The roof looks larger than it should be or needs to be for this purpose. And if that's where most of your relief is requested from, you might be able to do better.
Well, if to get,
If you're gonna go back to the salt box?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't need to.
I take your point. I went out, I've been to the site, we have some activity there. To say the architectural style is eclectic would be an understatement.
In that neighborhood.
In that neighborhood, right? So, it's not like Nantucket where it's white cedar, gray shakes with white trim, right? So, I have concern that the pyramid relief you're asking for is overwhelming for the lot, and I think you can do a little better on the roof line somehow.
Tell me this, Mr. McDonald, what's the overall purpose of the pyramid law? I mean, what is it that we as residents and taxpayers are
To
expecting
not
from?
create the impression that structures overpower the lot, create, I know the street, right? So, people, they run, they ride their bikes, they walk maybe with strollers. So, the idea is to not create an impression that you have a house that towers over either the neighborhood or the lots. And I get that other houses and properties may have gotten pyramid relief. But we need to, if you're gonna make the argument, you wanna be treated like everybody else, you're gonna have to do a little more detail with a lot this size, got this much pyramid relief. And unless you have a third floor on that, and that's a lot of roof space.
Well, this isn't mine, this is the one next to it.
Okay, but yours still has a lot of roof space. I don't know what it is, because I don't see it in the plans.
It's a ceiling.
Okay, but is it an 8-foot ceiling?
No, it's got a vaulted ceiling inside. It's strictly for look.
No, I know, but we're not going to be granting stuff strictly for looks, so we're, let me just ask you this. What are the ceiling heights on the first floor and the second floor? We need to.
8 and 10.
What's 10? Is 10 the first?
second. No, 8 is the first, and 10 is the second. 8 is the existing.
All
And
right,
the
that's,
existing second is 8.
You may need to calibrate your expectations for that.
yes, because I think what Mr. McDonald is saying, and, you heard the previous application, this is a lot of pyramid relief for a small piece of property, and it's too much. And you're gonna have to kind of come back with some ideas about how to cut it back. And a 10-foot ceiling on the second floor is one of the things that you can start to consider.
I don't know that.
We need to know what
You
those
got
are.
10,000 square foot lot, and you're asking for 7,000 cubic feet of pyramid relief. You could picture a 1,000 square foot house, 7 foot tall. It's almost another house on top of a lot that's only 10,000.
Right.
10,000 square feet. It's, if I had a 10-pound pile of sugar that I needed to put in a 5-pound bag, that would be what I'm seeing is happening. I just think you can do better on setting expectations that more properly fit the lot.
What's up on that second floor?
Much better.
What's there?
The 10-foot
living
vaulted
room, the
ceilings
dining room,
is your killer.
It's a no-go.
So it's gonna be an upside-down
It's
house.
upside down
All
because
right,
that's
so it's
the,
the living room, dining room, and then I also see that you've got a roof. You have a, yep, you've got a roof going up there as well, with railings, and we've had a lot of issues with roofs lately, so. John, this is yours.
It's a roof deck.
It's a roof deck.
Yeah.
It's a roof deck. I mean, to further answer your question about what's the purpose of the pyramid law, it's to control mass and massing in neighborhoods so that the neighborhood doesn't, that you're not changing the character of the neighborhood. And so we have to be very careful when we do this. Honestly, 6,800 cubic feet of relief is so, it's not just, I mean, Mr. McDonald is being very nice when he's saying you could do better. I would add to the front of better, much, 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 much.
but then, you know what, then you have a crappy house.
Well, then you know what? Then if you want to have a nice house and you think you're going to have a crappy house on that lot, then you need to
late.
to buy another lot.
Too late. There's only so many dollars in the.
Right, exactly.
And that is true, and we're not
Understood.
callous to that challenge for people. On the other hand, again, the 10-foot ceilings, the vaulted ceilings, it is, you're not gonna get it from this board, and so I think back to the drawing board, maybe there's a way to make it beautiful, because I do wanna say aesthetics, it's lovely to have a beautiful home, I get it, but aesthetics aren't gonna carry the day in terms of the uphill battle you're facing on pyramid relief here, it's just too much.
Yeah,
So
need
you-
carries the day.
I'm sorry?
Need carries the day.
Well, I
Aesthetics
think
do
we need
not.
the space. I think we need it to be a really nice house. I think we need it, for some of the benefits for the neighborhood or for the world at large, everything will be to code. Right now, nothing's to code. And everything will be. And there will be new electric, and there will be alarms for smoke and for CO2.
many
And the
bedrooms
stairway
in
will
this
be
house?
wider. I'm sorry?
How many bedrooms?
3, same.
And that's, you're gonna keep for just the 3?
Yep.
Right, and really, when we're talking about need, we're talking about need for additional bedrooms for an expanding family, we're talking about need for additional space for, to accommodate disabilities, we're talking about those kinds of needs. We're not talking about the need to have a nice house, we're not talking about the need to have an aesthetically pleasing house, or the need to benefit the neighborhood because you think your house looks better. And we're talking also about, I mean, we have to look at the 5-part test, and we also look
What's the
to.
5-part test?
The 5-part test is the test that we follow to determine these applications. And, we'll have, maybe talk to Candace, and she can, with a copy of that.
The application.
It is in the
You filled out those
Yeah,
sections
okay,
of the
yes,
application.
you have
questions that she
it's the
answered,
questions
yeah.
you answered in the application, and, you know, those are the things we follow. Those, like,
It's on here.
It's right here.
Questions,
Can they be achieved by another method?
By other
You
methods?
know,
Will there-
is it
will it cause a-
substantial? It certainly is substantial.
Yes, it is substantial.
Will it have an adverse effect on the
I think
environment?
not. Do you think environmentally it's problematic?
But it's a 5-part test, and so,
Not one part
That's
doesn't
one.
control.
yeah.
and by the way, that one is extremely subjective, as is some of this, but the amount of pyramid relief being sought is just, it's,
So
as,
what's an acceptable number?
we can't do that, because I think what you're getting is guidance that is, you have to come back with a better effort, because this is just.
And you have to decide what's really important, because the subtle message is what you're proposing is too much. And therefore.
Subtle. It's not so subtle.
Yeah, I think not.
Right. And,
We're banging the pots.
and you have to go back and talk to whoever you have to talk about and say, what do we really think is important here, because you can't get it all?
And it also
Have to
helps.
bring the pyramid relief down considerably
And you know-
from the number you have.
And the other thing is that you're having an upside-down house, maybe it isn't an upside-down house, maybe you can't have an upside-down house. I mean, there's things you're gonna have to really look at, because the amount of relief at 6,800 cubic feet is too much for this piece of property. And you won't get your votes here on the board, so, take that for what it, go back and see if you can do better.
Like, go home and study. What am I studying? Well, I'm asking, so you're saying reduce.
Your architect.
I'm sorry?
Have a conversation with your architect,
An
because
application.
they can often
Not
think
gonna approve this
outside the box.
application. We spend too much back and forth.
I mean, well, also, I understand Mr. Macedonia's
We're not an advisory board. That's the-
frustration with this, but I would also point you to the fact that this is a 3-bedroom house. That's it.
Yeah,
This is not like a 5-bedroom. You're asking a 3-bedroom house.
Right.
All the rest is living space, common living space.
right.
So you have a library, study, the entry, you have the bedrooms on the, but then you have on the second floor,
A living room, dining room, and kitchen.
living room, dining room, kitchen, great room.
No, living room, great room.
It says
same-
great room right there.
It's the same room. Great room, living room.
Okay, well, as Bob has
What my
mentioned,
point is.
we're
is-
not really here to design the house
No,
for
I
you.
understand that. But
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not an advisory board. We take applications and we vote yes or no. We try to help and accommodate people as much as we can, but we can't tell you 2,000, 1,000, 6,000. We can't.
all we know is that what you're asking for.
It's too much.
We're trying to give you guidance insofar as we're allowed,
Okay,
and you're free to take it, and you're free to reject it, and just ask for an up and down decision, as Bob said.
okay,
As this stands now, I don't think you have 4 votes.
okay.
No.
That's
Okay,
even-
John, this is
That's
yours.
generous of me saying that, because
Yeah, seriously.
I know.
Very often.
Okay, John, this is yours. Do you want to ask how long?
Didn't you do,
Do I want to?
Anybody in the audience wishes to be heard? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on 65 Inlet Road West?
No one.
Okay, John, this is yours.
Okay, I would like to, I'm gonna move to hold this open,
Okay.
so that you come back and provide us with any additional documentation you want to, if you wanna redo your plans, show us something new. So what dates, how much time would you need to do that? 2 weeks, so how about we put you on the April 2nd calendar?
But I would need that revised plan by Wednesday.
This
Can you-
Wednesday?
This Wednesday, so then we have 4/6,
Because I have to be able to mail it to you all.
Well, or,
4/16.
or she could also bring her architect in to have the conversation with the board, before I chop the whole house up, what do you guys think about this? I mean, sometimes you don't want to do the whole plans all over again until you get a feel from the board. I mean, do you think you could bring your architect in, or you want to,
I can't speak for the architect, but I'll try, certainly.
I'm just saying that,
So you know
that would
what?
make it
Let's put it
faster.
on for 4/2, and if she can't, get the architect here, you can't provide us with written comments before we usually like written comments in advance, and that's why Candace was saying if it's sort of a shortened time frame for you. But let's put it on for 4/2, and if we have to adjourn it, we have to adjourn it.
Thank you all.
Okay.
I
All right,
appreciate
John,
it.
do you want to make that?
Okay,
motion?
I move to hold this application open to 4/2.
Second.
Mr.
Thank you all.
Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Number 6 on the agenda, application of 45 Foster Avenue LLC, 45 Foster Avenue, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-69-1-5. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed industrial use building on a non-conforming lot. 1, Section 330-35, Industrial District General Regulations that references 330-38 Industrial District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for a front yard setback from 50 feet to 10.2 feet, a rear yard setback from 60 feet to 26.91 feet, and a minimum side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet, and 2, Section 330-95, Schedule of Off-Street Parking Space Requirements for Non-Residential Uses from 21 to 17 spaces and all other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction.
Are either of you attorneys?
I am.
Okay. So you want to just state your name?
Sure, Haley Greger, 371 Merchants Path, Sagaponic.
Gregor. Okay. And,
I am not an attorney.
okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Please state your name and address.
Brian Greger, 371 Merchants Path, Sagaponic.
All right, Brian.
Brian, you're, Ian?
Why?
Why? Oh, what I thought.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, so Haley, are you telling us about this application?
Yes, sure. So we are seeking 3 area variances and a parking space variance for property located at 45 Foster Avenue in Bridgehampton. Just quickly procedurally, we have presented our proposal to the planning board and have gone through the pre-submission process with them and have received approval to bring a formal site plan before them. But we are here seeking the variances that are needed. We have not yet applied for a building permit, and no prior variance applications have been made. The property is 0.579 acres. It's located in an LI 40 zoning district. It's entirely disturbed prior to zoning. Currently existing on the property is a 2916 square foot, 1-story masonry building. It is currently an auto mechanic repair shop. It's located 1.7 foot off the front property line, so it's very close to the road. And it is not suitable for our needs, both in size and the physical location of it on the property. Our proposal is to demolish the existing structure and construct a new steel barn-style building to be used for a well drilling operation. The proposed building is 66 feet deep by 112 feet long for a total of 7,392 square feet. The proposed lot coverage is 29.3%, where 30% max is allowed. The nature of the well drilling operation necessitates this size of a building so that all the trucks, the drilling rigs, the equipment can be stored inside. Given the irregular shape of the property with the curved road, we're on kind of a corner there, a bend in the road, and our inability to obstruct, there's a right-of-way easement on the northeast corner of the property. We have determined that the only way to make the property as a whole function efficiently is to situate the building, the proposed building, along the western property line perpendicular to the street, so the front of the building and the bays face east. Under this proposal, the vehicle and truck traffic can enter the property along the right-of-way easement and be able to move about and park within the property. And in order to achieve this layout, we are seeking the area variances to construct the proposed building within the setbacks. And we've said them before, but we are seeking a 10-foot setback where 50 foot is required at the front of the property line. We see this as an improvement considering the current building is right on the property line, so we'd actually be moving it back. And then a 10-foot setback where 20 foot is the minimum for one side of the property, that's the western boundary. And in the rear, we would be seeking a setback of 26.91 feet where 60 foot is required. For the total variance would be 33 feet there. Along the back is a dirt road that is used by the Long Island Railroad right away. So there's not like a neighbor there that would be bothered by that. We hope not. As far as the planning board and the conference we had with them, we did not receive any public comments on our proposal. We have also been in contact with all the neighbors, and they've all been supportive of our proposal. I know it was sort of a while, this process has taken a while, but we did get letters of support from all of them, and I believe they were included in the application. The last part is the parking spaces. In the industrial, we had been told that we were probably considered a special trade contractor, so that puts us at this certain parking space requirement that brings to 21 parking spaces by code, and that's based upon our employee count of 5 people. And we have proposed 14 parking spaces with an additional 3 that could be located within the bays of the building. So we are seeking the variance of those additional 4 spaces that we can accommodate within the property. Overall, in terms of the character of the neighborhood, it's industrial. There's, on either side of us, I think it's a potato barn that's used for a propane depot. There's a steel and welding across from us. So we think having this building won't change the character of the neighborhood. Quite honestly, what's there now we think is an eyesore, so we think this would be an improvement to the road. And if you have any technical questions or questions about why we have the building where it is, Brian here is the one who drives all the trucks and operates the machine, so he can answer that to the extent you need.
So,
Well, wait, this is.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Do you have a copy of the planning board pre-submission conference report?
I do, yes.
All right, so I went to the property.
Beautiful.
Yes. Somebody asked me if I wanted my chassis cleaned, which was a little bit like.
Friendly neighbors over there.
Friendly neighbors. I mean, really, roll down your window. Do you need your chassis cleaned? Because they're cleaning the chassis in the back of the, underneath it makes sense that they're doing it. It's very industrial. I mean, certainly the character of the area. I think, the building itself is a nightmare. I mean, it is old, it's run down, it's boarded up. And the other thing that is so, noticeable is the number of cars that are parked. I mean, it's just covered with cars. I mean, I don't know.
He's working on it. That's what I get told every time.
Really? He's working on
He's
every
working
one
on
of them? Oh, my goodness. I mean, it is really crazy. So I think that, basically, I don't have a problem with what you're recommending. I think, the current building is literally like a foot from the street. So going back even 10 feet, and I understand, there's like the railroad tracks in the back, the building is right up against practically, the other building next to you is right up against the property line.
Yes.
So your 10 feet is 10 feet from that other building essentially, because it's right on the property line. And you need some maneuverability, I guess.
Yeah.
In terms of, using your equipment and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
my goal was to be able to load and unload all the equipment on the property,
As
not
opposed to, yes.
parking in the road and doing all that.
Well, it's really an incredibly overburdened area with parking. I mean, if anybody else went to the site, it's like, did you get to the site?
I did.
Do you
get
want
your
to
chassis
make a
cleaned?
comment?
I didn't get asked. But the thing that struck me was, besides all the cars, the change of use presumably reduces the presence of all the other vehicles that are parked all around.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all dropped off, serviced my car, a few days later, whatever. And I'm not saying anything disparaging about it. I get how it works.
Yeah.
And I generally concur with the chair's observation. I was going to tease you and ask and let you know that we had just been notified it's a historic structure.
Yeah.
But some jokes just aren't funny at ZBA meetings. But you seem like reasonably amusing people.
It looks
So,
like a bunker.
so yeah, I good luck.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Did anybody else go to see
Actually,
the?
when you said well drilling or welding?
Well drilling.
Okay, I didn't.
Drilling.
Next door is welding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the record, then, the planning board doesn't see any issues with the parking variances. We don't anticipate a lot of people going in and out for their well drilling.
Oh.
It's correct.
And are the-
Their well
are
drilling
the,
needs.
So, the planning board, First of all, I just want to say Prenta did an excellent job on that report.
Yes,
They've
I
got
took a lot
such a
of-
good
yes.
report. And I don't see anything in there. for
Are
concern.
the bays considered parking spots?
We do consider them spots, because we're accounting for in these industrial commercial uses.
Pull the trucks in?
Trucks and everything else, so
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
They're pulling in to get loaded with
We
the
would like to see
equipment.
them staying inside the
Park
building.
overnight
Yeah.
inside the.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, it's not really, it's 3 doors, they're double wide, so
Just pull the truck
2 trucks can go in next to each other. My goal is to everything I have,
inside.
go inside.
Yeah,
Say-
well,
And you have how many employees?
There's 5, plus the.
I don't understand why you need it, this, it's not my business, but why do they need all this parking for 5 employees?
But yeah, the special trade contractor.
It's a special trade, so it's like a
dictates that.
Okay,
They will never be filled.
Because it doesn't distinguish between a well drilling and, let's say, a carpenter, a general carpenter who might have 20 employees, you know what I mean? It just says special trade.
okay. I mean, okay, I'm gonna shut up.
That's the answer I have.
Okay, is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on 45 Foster Avenue?
Or why don't you say, sir, would you like to be heard?
Anthony, who else needs to be coordinated for secret with this? It's an unlisted action, we need to coordinate with the planning board. Do you know who else we have to coordinate with? Kelly, did you write down any other agencies in your?
No, I don't think there's
Okay.
any.
You know, health department.
I get, because we do have to do a septic, I don't believe there's
It'll be
a
the health
septic there, so be it the health department.
So it's an unlisted action, we do have to coordinate secra.
Okay.
We have to we'll put it on for a lead agency on, I think, May 7th, because we need is that 30 days? Yeah, 30 days. The second meeting in April wouldn't be enough. And then-
So it's going lead agency 5-7?
Yes.
Yeah, and that would be planning board, I assume, correct?
Yeah, I'll make sure I get what I need so I can do the
Yeah.
coordination
Yeah.
immediately, so that day will be fine.
So do you think we would be able to, you'd have a report on 7th, or should we put it on for testimony the second meeting in May?
Well, the planning board did their pre-submission conference report, so we have comments already.
All right,
For
talk
the
about-
secret part,
yeah, talk about secret.
you should be okay for May 7th to relinquish lead agency,
Uh-huh.
you know, because we should be able to have that done by that point. And then whatever it is,
And then one more hearing on the second meeting of May?
yeah, I don't see any reason why.
For you? Okay, so then lead agency on May 7th, and then last public hearing on whatever the second meeting.
5/21.
Yes.
All right, so this is my application, so I'm going to, we're gonna hold this open and have another meeting of your applicants here on May 21st with lead agency decision on May 7th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with everything.
Okay, number 7 on the agenda. Oh, and I wrote it down. Number 8 on the agenda. Application of Lawrence Doyle and Mary Rose Wiseman, 20 Shady Rest Drive, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-10-1-41. I was gonna say, why aren't you coming up?
Coming on Zoom now.
Is he waiting for?
He's coming on Zoom.
Okay.
Hi, how are you?
Good evening, board members. My name is Bill Slight. I am the architect for Lawrence Doyle, 20 Shady Rest Drive in Sag Harbor.
And I swore you in, didn't I, the last time?
That's correct. I appeared
Okay, so I
before
don't
you,
need to swear you in again. Okay, go ahead.
So we appeared before you a month ago and reviewed with you the request for pyramid relief for the proposed new structure, the second floor addition to the house. At that time, an adjoining property owner raised some questions regarding the construction of the retaining wall along his property being constructed by Mr. Doyle. The issue between the neighbors has been resolved, and we have crafted an agreement with the help of Dennis Downs, attorney from Sag Harbor, and that the board attorney, I believe, was apprised of that today. And we are hoping that that clears our path to a decision by the board this evening.
Well, we won't be making a decision, but it will be we have to adjourn for a decision later on.
Yes,
but-
I'm sorry.
Yes, right. Okay, so, we had talked about, the neighbor's concern was the fact that he didn't feel that there was enough room to put any vegetation in with the retaining wall. And also that he was concerned it was 6 feet as opposed to
Correct.
4. So the architect's, the survey that I've gotten, the site plan I've got now shows that it's 4 foot retaining wall, and there is an evergreen privacy buffer that will be in front of that on the applicant's property. Is that correct?
And those are memorialized in the agreement that was crafted by attorney Dennis Downs.
Okay. All right, let's see, was there anything else that we had left out? I think we talked about the first floor is 9 feet, the second is 8, and the encroachment, the pyramid encroachment is 1,083 cubic feet.
That's right, it's the total for the portions that are both on the second floor and the first floor. The first floor, it's 238 cubic feet. On the second floor, 845 cubic feet.
Okay. And Candace, you had a question about the survey, need to make sure it's the same as the site plan.
No, I didn't have that question. I said that the zoning board can use a site plan instead of a survey. You all were asking for a survey, and I was saying we can accept a site plan as long as he references the survey. That he used to create a site plan.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. You need to reference the survey now, I assume that he
It should
does
be-
that.
I think it's on the bottom of his site plan.
Okay.
Not written, but type on the bottom there.
Site plan best on survey, yes, on physical survey, yes. Okay, terrific. So that issue is done as well. Okay, is there any other questions from the board on this application?
No.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this application? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application?
No one.
Okay, so we're going to close the public hearing. We're going to hold it open for written comments until April 2nd with a
April 6th.
I'm sorry, April 6th, with a decision on April 16th. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for
Well,
sorting
thank you,
that out
board.
with the
Thank
neighbors.
you for your time and for your diligent consideration of our
Sure thing.
request.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Bill. Okay, so we're up to the decision calendar here.
Correction. I guess it's a decision. Okay.
I don't see this as one of the decisions.
Yeah,
right
we-
here. Oh, we're
Number
sure.
9 on tonight's calendar, 6
Have the
Victoria
new-
Road, Hampton
we'll
Bays,
have
New
the-
York.
here, Current agenda.
Suffolk County Tax Map 900-230-2-25.3 on February 16th, 2023, by decision number D023031. This board granted variances for a proposed two-story dwelling in a swimming pool. This decision is being amended to include a principal front yard setback variance that was inadvertently omitted from the original decision for the proposed dwelling.
Is there a
Have a
second?
No. Susan, Helen's got to read it. The board granted variances in the past. They were building it, the building department flagged it and said this setback isn't on here. I listened to the hearing, I looked at the survey, I looked at the application. We just didn't put it in there.
Oh, okay.
This was like when Adam was the chair. It was a while ago.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Helen's
this,
got it.
Helen, this is your decision to read. Okay, so you just,
Amended decision in the matter of Tomasz Wojciechowski, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-230-2-25.3. On February 16, 2023, the board, by decision number DO23031, granted variances in connection with a proposed swimming pool two-story dwelling and parking on a non-conforming lot located at 6 Victoria Road, Hampton Bays. While a principal front yard setback variance was discussed both in the application and public hearing and was noted in the worksheet prepared by the building department and all surveys submitted to the board, it was not memorialized in the decision. Therefore, ZBA decision number DO 23031 dated February 16, 2023 is amended to grant relief from Town Code Section 330-11 for a principal front yard setback of 41 feet where 60 feet is required. All other provisions of DO 23031 remain in full force and effect.
Second.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Ms. Kane? Mr. Leonard? Aye. Chair votes aye. Okay, you're next.
Okay.
You want to do, you're here for 11 Westwood, right?
Oh, let's do you. That's me.
Let's do you.
You don't have to come up. I'm just going to read. This is just the decision.
Okay.
I have a decision in the matter of 11 Westwood LLC, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-17-1-81. This application is for property located at 11 Westwood Drive, Noyak. Applicant seeks variances for a proposed two-story and deck addition to an existing dwelling on a non-conforming lot burdened by wetlands. Applicant explained to the board that variances were granted in 2023 for a new dwelling, but that the new owners wanted to redesign the project. Since the granting of relief is consistent with what this board previously granted, and the property has secured conditional approval from the Conservation Board, this board finds that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and the Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of the Town Code. 1, for a proposed two-story addition to an existing one-family dwelling on a non-conforming lot. 1, Town Code Section 330-84D Pyramid Law for a sky plane encroachment to the north in the amount of 3,348 cubic feet. And 2, Town Code Section 330-11 Resident Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations as it relates to Section 330-83K yards for a principal rear yard setback of 30 feet where 35 feet is permitted. And 2, for a deck addition to the existing dwelling. 1, Town Code Section 330-11 for an accessory side yard setback of 10 feet from the north lot line where 20 feet is required. And 2, Town Code Section 330-83A yards to allow a deck higher than 1 foot above ground level to be located in the required front yard, all as shown on the site plan prepared by Francesco D. Domenico, LS of Tri-State Planning, Engineering, and Land Surveying, PC, last revised February 20th, 2026, and the floor plans dated September 1, 2025, and elevations last dated August 19, 2025, both prepared by Barry Rice, R.A.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, we're next up is Kevin.
Kevin. So I make a motion on the application of 533 David White's Lane, LLC, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-132-2-13. This application is for property located at 533 David White's Lane, North Sea. Applicant seeks a lot variance to convert a pre-existing dwelling that has been landmarked by the town board into a carriage house and construct a new one single-family dwelling. This board finds the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the Town Code, Section 330-9D, for density incentive provision for requiring lot area of 40,000 square feet where 90,000 square feet is required to allow an existing home to be converted into a carriage house when a new one-family dwelling is constructed on a non-conforming lot, as shown on the survey prepared by Joseph Secafico, professional licensed surveyor, last revised October 13, 2025, and floor plans and elevations prepared by Nicole Adams, registered architect, last revised October 22nd, 2025. The grant of the foregoing is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired including securing a certificate of appropriateness from the Landmarks and Historic District Board prior to the issuance of any permit. This decision is also conditioned upon the installation and maintenance by the applicant and all successors in interest of vegetative screening, landscaping, as shown on the landscape plan prepared by Nicole Adams, registered architect, last dated February 26, 2026.
Second.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, this is for a decision on Joseph Frederick Gaza and Blair Catherine Gaza, Scrub property. This application is for scrub property located in Quayog. Applicant requests relief from this board to allow 3 proposed lots within Oldfield Map Overlay District to have 0 front road frontage at the street where a minimum of 40 feet is required. This application was initially proposed for 4 lots and was classified as an unlisted action pursuant to SECRA and the Southampton Town Code. This board coordinated its review with Southampton Town Planning Board, assuming lead agency. On February 12, 2026, the Planning Board adopted a conditional negative declaration finding that with the following conditions: no significant adverse environmental impact will result in the project. The 105 natural non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer from the wetlands line shall be established through a field easement. 2, compliance with the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation northern long-eared bat. Okay, regulations including limitations on when the clearing may occur. Bat? Okay. And 3, proposed access shall be via easement over a lot known as 25 Peters Lane for the 3 lots. As reduced and subject to conditions, this board finds that the application passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code.
We gotta keep reading.
I know, I'm just laughing at the back. Okay. Therefore, this
That's
board.
real. That's a real thing.
It's a new one. Therefore, this board grants relief from Town Code Section 330-82 to allow 3 proposed lots within Oldfield Map Overlay District to each have a 0-foot road frontage and the street where a minimum of 40 feet is required. 3 lots will be configured by the planning board and are subject to the following conditions. The 105 natural non-disturbance, non-fertilization buffer from the wetlands line shall be established through a field easement. 2, compliance with the New York State DEC northern long-eared bat regulations, including limitations on when the clearing may occur. And 3, proposed access shall be via easement over a lot as 25 Peters Lane for 3 lots only. Granted, the foregoing relief is subject to other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of the subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, I will take the Janice as trustee of the Janice Spindle Trust, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-26-1-37. This application appeals the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for a property located at 21 Lily Pond Drive, Sag Harbor, due to the construction of a retaining wall and associated dead man anchors on the adjacent property. At the outset, this board notes, as always, that it does not condone construction done without the benefit of a building permit, and certainly does not condone construction done outside the boundaries of a property and/or without the consent of the property owner. Further, this board appreciates that counsel for both parties were willing to discuss a resolution of this matter outside the confines of this application and at the board's urging. However, ultimately, this board finds that there is no basis to revoke the certificate of occupancy number C250160 dated June 3rd, 2025. No evidence was submitted that there are any deficiencies with the construction on the premises, nor are there nonconformities alleged with any building or structures on the subject premises to support that the certificate was issued in error. Further, no evidence was submitted to indicate that the retaining wall is necessary to support a building or structure covered by the certificate of occupancy on the subject premises, such that the removal of the wall would impact the integrity of the building structure. This board understands the applicant's anger and frustration at having a retaining wall constructed on her property without consent, but must find that the remedy for this is not from the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
No.
Mr. Mastonia?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.